I'm Jason Little, and this is 10 minutes off the top of my head. I've decided to make this video because I've decided to tell you the truth that I do believe in evolution. Now, before you get angry and break your computer screen to try and punch me in the face or leave a nasty comment in the comment section, I want to tell you what I mean by that, because I don't mean what it sounds like I mean. I'm being facetious, of course. I believe in a literal 6-day creation of the earth. However, I have evolved, and I have evolved in several ways, as do all of us, in a manner of speaking. We evolve. We used to call it growing up, but nowadays I think we can call it evolution, because that's the only kind of evolution that's going on, and small changes and variances in species of animals, micro evolution, if you will. But I want to tell you why I'm saying this. I've been thinking about why I started doing these videos. Obviously, if you look at how many subscribers I have not endeavored to do this to become famous. I started to do this because I thought, you know what? Somebody needs to get on to YouTube, on the internet, on Facebook, and tell people the way that it is, the way that things are. And I think the very first video that I made, the first few videos I made were political. And then I said, you know what? Why is that important in the grand scheme of things? It was during the election last year, well, 2 years ago now, for President Trump versus Hillary Clinton and all that debacle that was going on. And there were just a lot of things that were going on during that campaign that really frustrated me and made me irritated. And so I thought, you know what? I'll make videos about that. And then I said, no, you know what's more important is to make videos that really help people. And if I make videos on my opinions about the election, it's only going to help the people that agree with me. It won't even help them. It'll just reinforce whatever they're already thinking. And I don't really want to do that. And so I evolved and I said, you know, I'm going to make this channel about helping people out with the truth of the gospel. And so I definitely did that for a while, and we'll continue to do that. I need to get back to finishing up the book of Romans, because I think we're in chapter 7 or 8 now, and I really need to get back to it. That being said, I also wanted to help people to try and wake up a little bit. We live in a world that's mostly asleep. We live in a world of sheeple, and you've heard all the cliches. I need to get woke. I need to stay woke, get woke, all that stuff. I'm not talking about social consciousness and social justice, which is what that's usually meant. When somebody says that somebody's woke, it means that they're socially conscious about social justice issues, and I'm certainly not that guy, not on this day or any day, and will never evolve to be that guy, because social justice is an open door to communism, which is what these people want. Different video, different story. We won't talk about that. Anyway, I decided that I want to help people to wake up. And so I started thinking about the videos that I've made in the past and the videos that I've posted. And I realized that, you know, there's a lot of gaps in some of the videos that I've posted, some of the things that I've said. And by gaps, I mean, I give you an outline of information, and the hope is that you'll go and look it up on your own. Read about it, watch other videos about it, get different perspectives about it, and then come to your own conclusions. That's what I've done. That's why I believe the way that I believe. That's why I think the way that I think, is because I've looked at different viewpoints. I've looked at different ideas. I've processed them through what little mind I may have and processed them through the beliefs that I have, and then come up with some conclusions, which I've shared with you on my videos, especially in the A Great Blessing is Coming series. And I want to help you to come to those conclusions as well, not because I said it, but because you're now motivated to go and look into these things for yourself and see if they are or are not true. And let me give you an example from my own life of something that used to happen every few years. It hasn't happened in a long time, but you know, well, sometimes, you know, it's hard to really put all this stuff into this form. But anyway, uh, here's the thing. Back when I was in the ministry full time, even before I was in the ministry full time, I was the junior church pastor, if you will, of my church. Now we didn't really have that position, but I was a junior church director. That's what we called it. And I taught junior church for fourth, fifth, and sixth grade. And then I also taught our Wednesday night program, which was called Master Club, for fourth, fifth, and sixth grade. So those kids had me on Sunday morning and on Wednesday night. And one thing that I always stress to them, and that I believe, and I've believed for my entire life as far back as I can remember, is you need to know why you believe what you believe. If you just believe something because everybody else is saying it, or because everybody else believes it, and you don't really have a reason for yourself to believe it, then you have an empty belief. You have a belief that's void of any sort of meaning. And so I've endeavored to find out why I believe what I believe. And then if I find out what I believe is incorrect, I'm going to change. For instance, many years ago when I was a teenager, I was going to a Southern Baptist church. And this is no comment on the Southern Baptist whatsoever. I was reading the New International Version of the Scriptures. This might be a little bit of comment on them. And I began to think, why do I believe that Jesus is God? And so I began to search the Scriptures. In those days, we didn't have internet. Yeah, I'm pretty old. We didn't have internet when I was in high school. We had nothing like we've got now. But we didn't have internet when I was in high school. I graduated high school in 1990, and we didn't get the World Wide Web and the internet until 1993. But I began to think, and this was probably 1988, 1989, when these things started to come to me. I was going to be a junior in high school. And I thought, why is it that on the one hand, we say that Jesus is God, but on the other hand, there is so much emphasis on saying he's the Son of God. And how does that all work? Understand, I was already a born-again Christian at this point. So I don't want you to think that this is a testimony about how I got saved. I was already saved, but I was questioning why I believed what I believed. I never did think that Jesus wasn't God, but I was confused by the excessive use of the term Son of God. Jesus is the Son of God, and how that corresponds to Jesus actually being God. And you have to understand a lot of more things other than just the face value of the phrase, Jesus is the Son of God. Because if you understand it on those terms, well, I'm the son of Bruce, but I'm not Bruce. Bruce is my dad. I'm not him, right? He's not me. I'm not him. I'm his son. I'm the son of Bruce. He's the son of Sid. He's not Sid. Sid's dead. My dad's not dead. My dad's still alive. So when you look at it in those terms, and we look at it in our Western American understanding, the Son of God, it can become confusing. Now, when you're younger, you just accept it like, okay, whatever, Son of God. I don't really understand it, but I accept it. So I began to search in the Scriptures, and I began to look for clues to the deity of Jesus. And it didn't take very long. This happened over the course of about 2 weeks. But it made a profound impact on my life, because at that point, I then knew why I believed that Jesus was God, because Jesus claimed to be God many times throughout the New Testament, throughout the Gospels. And then in Paul, when Paul was writing, especially to the Philippians, when he said that Jesus thought it not robbery to be made equal with God. And then we see that there's one mediator between God and man, the man Jesus Christ. And we begin to understand the relationship that God the Father has with God the Son. And when we look in the New Testament, we begin to see that Jesus made claims to deity many times. He told in the book of John, he told, and yeah, I want to say that the mediator between man and God, that's in Timothy. So I know it wasn't in Philippians. Anyway, in the book of John, Jesus said, before Abraham, I am. And that moment right there, Jesus was, without any kind of doubt or hesitation, 100% saying, hey boys, I'm God. And that's not the only time that that happened, but that was the one that stuck out of my mind as most profound. So from that moment on, many years later, I became the director of junior church, and I was teaching in our Wednesday night program, Master Club, to the fourth, fifth, and sixth graders, and I tried to impress upon them all the time. You have to know why you believe what you believe. And the reason that you have to know why you believe what you believe is because your beliefs are going to be challenged and you have to back them up. For instance, let's just throw this out there. Why do you believe that the earth is a globe? Think about it for a second. Why do you believe that? You've never done an experiment, most of you, probably none of you, have ever done an experiment to prove that the earth is a globe. And then think about this a little bit further. Why do you believe that the earth is spinning at 1,038 miles an hour at the equator, revolving around the sun at 66,600 miles an hour, revolving around the center of the Milky Way at 500,000 miles an hour? Why do you believe that? Well, you might not even known that that's what the astronomers tell us is going on, but that's what's going on. The earth is spinning at 1,038 miles an hour. We're going around the sun at 66,600 miles an hour. The earth is a globe. We're going around the center of the universe at 500,000 miles an hour. Why do you believe that? If you believe that, why do you believe that? Are there alternatives? Do you know of any alternatives? Why do we believe that when something falls, it falls because of the force of gravity? Why do we believe that the reason that we don't fly off the spinning earth is because of the force of gravity? Why do we believe those things? And if you're honest with yourself, you're going to have to say, I believe those things because that's what I've been told. I haven't studied these things. I haven't read about these things. I haven't found out about these things on my own. It's just what I've been told. Well, if you believe something because that's what you've been told, then you don't really believe it. You've been indoctrinated with it. So I'm going to go more into detail on that in the next video. It's going to be controversial. And I hope that you'll stick around. I hope that you'll hear me out because it's very important to our further discussions that we're going to be having. Why do you believe what you believe? Do you believe it just because you've been told it and you just accept it? Or have you studied it out for yourself? Have you gone and done the work and dug in and said, I need to figure out why I believe what I believe? Well, I'll see you on the next video. Catch my other videos, and I'll see you on the next video. God bless you.